Okay, so when you're connecting soaker hoses, you want to take them around your house as far as you can. However, these soaker hoses can only go properly up to about 150 feet. So you can connect them together, 3 50-footers, 2 75-footers, 100-foot, and 150-foot. It's okay to connect them together as long as you don't go beyond 150 feet. Now you'll notice most soaker hoses on the inside of the part that screws onto the faucet have this restrictor plate. Leave that on when the part that screws onto the faucet. However, if you are connecting this soaker hose to the end of another soaker hose, you want to remove that restrictor plate so that the water can flow freely from one hose to the next. Soaker hose placement. We're often asked, where do I put my soaker hose? As you can see, this soaker hose is right up against the foundation. This is not where we want to put the soaker hose. The reason is because clay soil absorbs moisture much more slowly than this hose is going to put it out. The water will oftentimes channelize down the foundation and actually run and pool under the house, and you're actually watering back there instead of the part that's actually holding the house up. So we don't want to put the soaker hose right up against the house. What we want to do is have it watering that 2 feet of soil that's actually holding up the house. So to do that, we place the soaker hose anywhere from 8 to 12 inches away from the foundation. If you have bushes in front of your house, usually placing the soaker hose at the back of the bushes is typically about the right position. But again, 8 to 12 inches away from the house so that we are watering the soil that's holding the house up and not forcing water to go underneath the house itself. When putting your soaker hoses around the house, you do indeed want to cover as much around the house as possible in that 1 to 2 foot range. Now, when you have large sections of concrete, like a driveway or a large patio, you don't necessarily have to go around or across that on a regular basis. However, during the months of June, July, August, and September, you should at least once a month, maybe twice, lay the soaker hose on the gap between your driveway and your garage apron and let it rest there and run it for about an hour. Once a month is usually adequate. The foundation here and the concrete acts as an evaporative barrier to help hold moisture into those soils. But over the summer, it will dry out, so we want to add moisture on a regular basis. So once a month, maybe twice a month during the hot times, 1 hour along this gap. Also, if you have that same thing at your house patio, if you have a gap, you want to run it there as well. Okay, when you're running the soaker hose along the side of your house and you want it 1 foot roughly away from the foundation, one of the issues that I'm always asked is, but what about my lawnmower? I'm going to cut it with the lawnmower, especially when the soaker hose is new and it won't lay down straight. This is the answer to that. These are called landscape fabric pins. They're available at any home improvement store in the landscape department where they sell landscape fabric. You take these little things out, and every so many feet that you need, simply place them over the soaker hose, and they will pin it flat to the ground, so that now you can run over it with a lawnmower, weed eater, etc., and it's not going to get sucked up into the blade and cut. Now, as far as being consistent with your watering, it's really important because we want to keep the moisture level in the soils as consistent as possibly so they're not swelling and contracting like crazy every time it gets rain or heat. So you have to remember to water every other night, every third night. Now, if you're like me and you get forgetful or you're actually busy, sometimes forgetting can be a problem. So these electronic timers are available at any home improvement store where they sell the hoses. They're battery powered and they're programmable. This one has 2 stations where you can actually program 2 different sides of the foundation to be watered at 2 different times and intervals. Now, the one thing you want to pay attention to is check these regularly. Our summer heat will zap the battery in these things, and you won't know that they're not working, but they're not. So the batteries will have to be replaced every couple of months at the most. Also check to make sure after you turn them on that we're not dripping water at the faucet, because again, we want consistent moisture. A lot of water dripping out at one place on the foundation can be a problem.